Hello everybody, this is Oak Tree Tarot Reader here and welcome to my pick a card video. So it's time for our October reading. What can you expect in October? This can be any October, by the way, so if this is quite an old video from your perspective, it will still count. If you're still attracted to one of the four options, please go ahead and listen to the reading. We obviously have 1, 2, 3 and 4. I will put the timestamps in the description box and pin them as a top comment. So when you've made your choice, go ahead and click on the timestamp and I will see you there for your reading. If you want a bit of time to relax, get in the mood, open your mind, let all your thoughts go and just be relaxed, cool and calm, then press pause, and then when you are compelled towards one of the four options, click on the timestamp and see me there, because I'm now going to be moving on to the readings. Okay, those of you that chose option 1, this is your reading. So let's start off with the universe. That's the world, the Knight of Pentacles, 9 of Cups, Wiccan red ethos, the Unicorn and the Maiden, communication with Unicorn, purification, undercover action, true love. This is the romance of a lifetime. Wonderful. Let's spread that across so I've got a bit more space. Right, so it looks to me generally that you could be meeting someone. If you're single and you want to meet someone, that you have a great opportunity to meet someone. And if you're in a relationship, just generally in October, your love affair will be okay, it will go well. You're not going to really have much trouble in that area. I think more generally, you're not going to have a bad month. I don't think anything bad. There's no like serious warnings or advice in this in October. So I think it's going to be a month of where not much massively exciting happens, but also it's not that nothing will happen. Because we've got the universe, the world, there's a completion, there's a fulfillment. You're going to find it a fulfilling month. I think that when you work hard at things, you will do well, that you'll complete projects. So if you've got loads of little things that have been hanging around for a month, like a few repairs around the house, for instance, because it's a pentacle, or you've had a few projects that have been hanging over you for ages and you've been trying and struggling to finish them off. Like, let's say you make a final payment on something, or you suddenly get the opportunity to, make great headway in a project, in something that you've been working towards for a long time, and then all of a sudden you're like, yeah, I can finish it off, sign it off, and it's done, it's completed. And it's going to make you feel really, really happy because you got that on the cups. You're going to be emotionally satisfied, very, very pleased with yourself and with what you're doing, what you're working hard at. And that's because you've finished it, you've completed it, you've fulfilled it. Something's done and dusted. Yeah. I feel that's one message for you for the month, and that this is a separate message for you. Something you're working on, you're going to finish it, you're going to be really, really pleased you finished it. Either really, really, really pleased you finished it, or really pleased with what you've done now you've finished it. But this is a separate message. This is saying, basically, to thine own self be true. Have your moral code and stick to it. It's about do no harm and no harm will come to you. It's if you go towards things with the right attitude, with the the right mindset, the right belief that you're not hurting anyone or no one's going to be harmed by the actions that you take, things will go well for you. It's like things come back to you times 3. But this is really, really saying to you to it's easy to think, oh, I'm doing the right thing, and then finding out that you're not. So you must also apply your own mind to it, and be aware that if you do one thing, even though you believe it's right, if you're going to hurt someone in the process, to find another way around the problem. I'll read this out to you. Bide the Wiccan law ye must. In perfect love, in perfect trust. 8 words the Wiccan read, fulfill, and ye harm none, do as ye will. And ever mind the rule of 3, what ye send out comes back to thee. Follow this with mind and heart, and merry ye meet, and merry ye part. So you've got to think about your relations with other people in October. Possibly through this process of completion of something, that maybe you're finishing a job actually, maybe some of you are finishing a relationship. I mean, that's entirely possible. It's a generalised reading. But you've got to do it in peace and goodwill. You know, you've got to be fair and balanced. You've got to do things with the knowledge that how you treat others is how you are treated back. You know, I always say in tense situations, let them be the bad guy. You know, you always do play by the rules, so then they can't get you. But also play by the rules and be the dignified person, and let them run riot if they have to. Let them be the bad guy. And that's really reinforcing that for you somehow in something that's going on in October. Next we have the unicorn and the maiden, and it's really saying again the same thing, is be true to yourself. That was the overriding message that's really come through to me in the context of it. There's a sense here that with this completion, it's because you're coming back to your own values. Does that make sense? Or that you're coming back to something that's a more authentic version of you. Like maybe you've been doing a job. I'm drawn to a job because of the Pentacles, but maybe you've been doing a job that's been okay, but it's not been really what you wanted to do with your life. Or maybe you've been working hard on something that's not your true passion or your true interest, because it's just a job that's needed doing. Because remember, the Knight of Pentacles is someone that's willing to do the dirty work. They'll do the slog, they'll put the hours in because that's what they have to. It's a means to an end. You know, they go out to work and they get their pay at the end of the day. That's the contract. So I feel that you've been doing something perhaps that you felt obliged to do. And this is probably this idea that you've done what you should do, and you've done no harm, and you've, you know, done right. And then in a sense that good things will come from it. But now it's saying as well that maybe with this fulfillment that you can go back to communicating with the purity within yourself, the true you, and sort of purify this ending out of your life. And it's sort of in a way that you're getting the opportunity to I don't think start something new. I think you're going back to something that you should have been doing anyway, but you've had a bit of a detour, which is, there's nothing wrong with a detour. The life experience and whatever that's happened in this detour is valuable for you. So don't think, oh no, I've made a mistake. It's just you're going back on track. And of course, true love. I think that this is, you're just going to feel really happy. I think the true love could be with yourself, because we've got this 9 of Cups. I think if you are looking to meet somebody, and that you can meet somebody in October, and you're going to feel really good about it. And I think the fact that you're feeling really, really good will make you more attractive, because you'll feel confident and empowered and all the rest of it. And you'll probably feel a lot freer and lighter, so therefore more light-hearted and relaxed and jovial and fun and all the rest of it. And that's sexy, isn't it, really? But if you are in a relationship, I think, again, this sense of you having more free time and of feeling the weight off your shoulders is just going to make your relationship work so much better, and lift everything up. Maybe this is what you can spend, you know, this sort of going back to what you should be doing and doing what you must. If you're completely single, not interested in love, I think it's just love for yourself. I think you're just going to be really, really pleased with yourself. Really pleased with yourself. So those of you that chose option 1, that's your month ahead in October. I think actually you're going to have a great positive month, really. I don't think anything massive is going to happen, but internally inside yourself, you're going to feel good. And well done, you. So if you're interested in any of the decks that I've used, I'll put all the links to the various decks so that you can find them and buy your own copy. If you want to just look in the description box. I do have some slots available for private readings. All the information that you need on that is in the description box as well. So go through it all and then send me an email on oaktreetarotreader@gmail.com. So I will leave you with that. Have a great October. Please take very good care of yourself. Thank you very much for listening to me, and goodbye. Okay, those of you that chose number 2, this is your reading. Let's get them in order. So we start off with these. Oh, the priestess, that's the high priestess. The lovers, that's nice. Oh, 5 of cups. Oh, now I got somebody left me a lovely comment on the last video. I was like, I don't have a clue how to pronounce that, but apparently it's Lunasa. So hopefully I've not butchered how I'm supposed to pronounce it, but it's Lunasa. Prosperity. And catch me, trust, surrender, leap of faith into the unknown. Pay attention to the red flags. The signs are cautioning you. Okay, then. So you are going to have an interesting month. I feel that there is a decision to be made. These lovers, I don't feel actually is to do with, actual love, union. To me, this is referring to choice. The choice aspect of this card. Because it's asking you to draw on your knowledge. This is, the High Priestess is a learned woman. But if you're a man, it still counts for you, woman or man. But it's about being learned, about being quiet and reflective and observant. Somebody who absorbs information at a great scale. They're smart. Doesn't mean necessarily formally educated, but they are smart and knowledgeable. And they draw upon that at times of need, and then they share that knowledge. Share that knowledge out. So this is like the wise woman in a way. So it's asking you to draw on your intuition, your wisdom, your knowledge to make a choice. But there's an awareness that through this choice, there's a pain, there's a grief. The 3 spilt cups of wine there that this gentleman's watching and feeling sad about, and ignoring the 2 cups behind him. What you're being asked to do is turn around and look at the 2 cups that are still on offer. So you're either in a position even now of sadness over something, something's been lost, you didn't get a place on the team, you didn't get the job, they didn't want to go on a 2nd or 3rd date. And you're feeling sad and mopey about it, but you've got to remember to turn around and notice what you still do have. So there are things that are positive in your life that in October you're at risk of ignoring. I mean, if you have had a breakup or something, you've got to go through the natural grieving process. It's essential. If you don't grieve over things that are over or lost, you can't really move on and progress through life. So don't feel the 5 of Cups is anything unhealthy. It's just something that's part of life. But you've got to choose in a way to accept that or move towards it in order to get through to the other side, where you can then turn around and see the 2 cups and whatever's going on this side. Because you do have prosperity. I think there is going to be a prosperousness for you in some way. I don't think that you're going to be in want. And in all the things that we need, this is about a harvest. So maybe the decision is to harvest what you can get out of a situation in order to move on, prepare for winter. You're not going to be destitute. And I think this is spiritually. Spiritually more than anything. You've got more than you think you have. because I think that you are in a position where it's time to move on, and your future is uncertain, because this trust, surrender, leap of faith into the unknown, I think, is dominating actually the reading. Usually in a reading you can tell when one card is influencing the rest, and I think that this is for you, that you've got to choose to make this leap of faith, to move on to something new. And that could be in your romantic life, or it could be your work life, family life, any aspect. It could be small or big, but in some way you're being asked to now, okay, it's time to just go, to move forward. But you are absolutely being asked to still pay attention to the dangers around you. You're not being asked to be stupid. If you see that what you're going to walk off is a giant cliff down into the rocks below, don't walk off it. Turn around, have a bit of a walk, do like these pictures. Oh, there's a bridge there. Maybe if I just walk along up here and cross over at the bridge instead of just walking into the river torrents in front of you. Pay attention to the red flags and, open up your veil and see what's in front of you. And if there's anything that sets alarm bells ringing, you pay attention to them. So it's not asking you to be utterly foolish, but it's not asking you to be stagnant either. You really are at a crossroads where you need to make a choice. And bearing in mind what your prosperity is, what your knowledge is. You're really being asked to draw on your knowledge. Yeah. It doesn't mean end something, by the way. It doesn't mean end something. It means that something needs changing. So if there's something going on in your life and you think, well, I'm not willing to sever that, then that's fine. But you need to pay attention to something and perhaps acknowledge something that needs adapting, improving, negotiating in order to be prosperous. You need to focus on your prosperity. I think that you probably are prosperous and you're probably worried about taking a financial hit or an emotional hit or a spiritual hit, that you will be in want in some way and you're worried about it. But you've got to not worry about it. You've got to deal with it. And you have the knowledge and the power and the capabilities to do that. Yeah, that's your reading. That's it. Try and see the truth of a situation as much as possible. Be accepting of it and deal with the facts of the matter, and then make a decision, and don't be afraid of the unknown or the future. So I'm going to leave you with that. Those of you that chose number 2, that's your reading. I hope that it's helped you. Let me know in the comments. If you like the decks, I will put the links for the decks to Amazon. Just go and have a look in the description box to find them. If you want a private reading with me, I do have some slots available. So again, look in the description box, all the information's there. And then you can send me an email on oaktreetarotreader@gmail.com and I will get back to you. So all the best for October. Please take very good care of yourself. Thank you very much for listening to me, and goodbye. Okay, those of you that chose number 3, this is your reading. Let's get these first. So we start off with the Page of Pentacles. Excuse me. The Tower. 8 of Pentacles. Herbal Kitchen. The Alchemist. I don't think I've had that card before. Golden Gift. Magical help is on its way. It is safe for you to love. Open your heart to give and receive the highest energy of all. So, the theme for... Ooh, sorry, I knocked my tripod. The theme for me, for you for October is like earthiness. It's practical skills. It's being in the kitchen and cooking. It's being sweet, sensitive. This is the deer goddess because she's got the deer antlers. It's about nature and plants, animals, plants, be it, like eating more plant-based foods, in this herbal kitchen. So I think that you might find yourself being a bit of an earth mother or earth father in October. I think you're going to be concerned with being more natural. Maybe you're going to be concerned about eating a healthier diet. Whether that's, it does not necessarily about exercise, by the way. There's a feeling of diet, about food, and in actually, the natural world here. So you might think, I'm going to cut out processed foods. I'm not going to have takeaways or eat junk food. I'm just going to actually try and eat healthy. In October, but it's about being calm and peaceful. Both of these cards are about being peaceful, calm, sweet, sensitive, exploring and developing the more sensitive side of yourself. It doesn't mean that you have to end up being a pushover. I think you're just going to be given the space and time to perhaps stay indoors a bit more. You might find that you end up staying inside in your house, in your kitchen, particularly in October. So you might just focus more on cooking, cooking meals rather than going out with your friends and socialising in the bar or something, or going to the cinema or music concerts or whatever. Doesn't mean that you won't be getting out of the house. It just means that you might focus on it a lot more than you normally do. If you're already a bit of a homebody, who's somebody who doesn't really get out much anyway, you're just still going to carry on doing the same thing, but I think you're just going to enjoy it a lot more. I think you're just going to feel much more at peace with it. Maybe find some new recipes. But you've got a golden gift, magical help is in the way, so it's going to be enjoyable for you. There's something wonderful is going to come your way that's going to make you feel very, very positive. And warm-hearted and in a sense contented. So whether contentment is the gift itself, that's entirely possible, but for others of you, you might actually get something like a nice, maybe it's your birthday, but also maybe there's an unexpected little something that's given to you that really boosts you. So I want to move on to the tarot next. We've got the Page of Pentacles, the Tower, and the Eight of Pentacles. This is about going out as a student, going out with a message. The pentacles are like the earth element, in the earth signs in astrology. It's about going out, it always reminds me of the student card, about going out to learn, to go out to learn your craft, to learn your skill. So I wonder if some of you, my younger viewers, who are going off to university or college. Some of you might have already gone, but in other areas of the planet, they don't generally start till the end of September or beginning of October. And you're going off to study, to learn, to come into things. And it's a bit shocking. There's something, it upturns your world. Sometimes the Tower can come across as a negative card because it's shocking to us. You think, oh my God, what's going to collapse in my life that I've got to rebuild? But I feel that this is, in the other cards are so positive that I think actually it's a positive change for you. It's a positive upturning of your life. It's you reevaluating what's important to you. And I think possibly this is why you're more focused on the home and nurturing yourself through your diet and nurturing who you are, but again through consumption in some way. Because of this sense that I think that you realise yourself that this is the chaos of your life and it's something maybe that you need to do about it. And that you're going to be working hard at it. You've got the Eight of Pentacles. You're going off to learn something and then you're going off to practice it. Again, let's go back to the idea that you're going off back to school, that you're going to be grafting hard at your assignments, your essays, your reports, whatever. But it's going to be a shock to you. Something new's coming into your life that sort of upturns your expectations of it, upturns your understanding of things, but not in a negative way. There's just no other negative cards. This is, being influenced by the positivity around it. So this is a good change. Remember the golden gift. It's a positive change. It's a change that you will look back on and say, do you know, if that hadn't happened, I don't know where I would be in life. Or maybe the place that you would have gone to is a place that you're relieved you didn't go to. Yeah, so don't be frightened of the Tower card. It can be frightening at times, but I think that you possibly yourself are the one knocking down the loose bricks and getting your foundations set to what's really important to you that you can then build upon. And it's safe for you to love. I think you can be open-hearted and warm. I mean, if you are going off, again, back to the university idea, be warm-hearted and open to make new friends. You know, you might focus on staying in a bit, especially if you've moved somewhere new and you didn't know where you were before. You know, like you moved into a new home usually to go off to study. You tend to often go out of your city or your town in order to study. You might go off to another area of the country, and you're rebuilding. So you might find that you're just building up your home as well as working hard. I do feel there's going to be a lot of hard work in October for you. I don't think this is going to be a month where you're coasting, which is probably why you're perhaps not in the mood to socialise a lot. But you can still be warm-hearted and open. You don't have to be closed off, and be open and to nice, warm, loving people like you. That it's safe to make friends, safe for you to love and to give love and get it back. So whilst you're sort of being reminded to take care of yourself, to not isolate yourself either. So don't go too far and just sort of end up spending the autumn and then, you know, quite easily the winter not getting out of the house. You don't want that either. Because you've got this Tower moment where you need to reevaluate things. Maybe you just need to recharge your batteries before you make a big change. I think that you're going to learn something new that's going to really, in a sense, blow your mind. It's going to make you go, wow, this is different, this is new, this is something that, you know, the old is going, the new is coming forward. And it's going to leave you in a position where you've got to work really, really hard. You've got to focus on it and you've got to do the task in order to get the pentacles made, to get the tangible results, to get the security established. So that's your reading, those of you that chose option 3. I hope that it's helped you. Let me know in the comments, as always. If you like any of the decks that I've used, the links to Amazon are going to be in the description box, so you can have a look there to see if you want to buy your own copy. If you want to book a private reading with me, I do have some slots available, so again, check the description box, but also once you've read through it and know what you want, send me an email on oaktreetarotreader@gmail.com. And I will wish you all the best for October. Please take very good care of yourself. Thank you very much for listening to me, and goodbye. Okay, those of you that chose option 4, this is your reading. Right, start off with these. 10 of Cups, nice, I like to see that. 2 of Wands. 3 of Pentacles. Mabon, balance. Follow me, come, this is your invitation to enter the realm of fairy. Express your love, go ahead and make the romantic gesture. Lovely. All right, so I feel broadly, we will look at the cards in a bit more detail to give you a bit more clarification on it, but broadly there is an opportunity for you to have love, or to be attracted to someone, to have someone that you'd like to meet or that you would like to talk to or ask out. But you are the one that's going to be doing I feel that you're the one doing the approaching. You've got follow me and express your love. I somehow feel that this is you saying, follow me, would you like to dance? The old classy, old-fashioned way. Or can you come to the bar with me and I'll buy you a drink? I feel that that's you. Some of you, obviously, it's the other way around. It's just a general reading. But there's an invitation. You either give it or receive it, and it's about expressing your love. So someone is saying to you, I think you're quite pretty, or you're quite handsome, or I fancy you. Let's go off and just, and I don't feel that this is like, let's get married. I feel that this is in a small way. Maybe you've noticed this person a while back, or you just meet them. It doesn't matter. You want to... There's a desire to express an interest. The message with it is the balance, that you've got to balance out. It's balancing out your shadow side and your light side. And in the context of the reading and what I've got here for you for October is that this is why I think that it's you that's interested. Even if it's not actually, can we go out sometime? Do you want to meet up for a coffee? I think it's even just coming across as making yourself open to interest, like that you reveal that, I'm interested in you. You don't want to risk too much, but you want to say, you sort of flirt, show that initial interest. But what you've got to do is balance out the two sides. And I think this is in context of previous relationships. I get the impression that you're the crow who's stuck in the shadow side of past failures. Maybe this is your previous relationships that have died a death. And this person seems to be on the other side of the card, where there's a flourishing apple tree, where everything's beautiful and vibrant and like a Disney film. And you're the one who's stuck in the darkness. But what you have to do to be able to move into the light is to accept the past failures, to accept perhaps your part in the past failures. So there's almost this sense of desiring the 10 of Cups and wanting the 10 of Cups, but exploring and thinking and wondering about, is it worth the risk? Well, of course it always is, but you have got to step out from the shadows and move into the light by accepting that you are the one that's put yourself in the shadows. We all have a good and bad side. We all do things that are perceived, that are bad. They're perfectly human, natural things. But we all have sides that we try and conceal, or where we don't like to admit that we were also partly responsible for the breakup of a relationship. It was our own actions that caused us to get the sack from our job. All this kind of stuff. But in a way, what it's saying to you is to accept that. Let go of a previous failure or previous relationship. Maybe there's an acceptance needed here that a relationship that has recently been over, or sort of you're a bit hung up on, is over, that you're stuck in the shadow of an old relationship, and that you need to step out of it and move forward. And once you step out of that and be the crow that hops into the nice side, the light side, you can then make your offer or accept the offer. Because it's like, if you don't, in a sense, you're doomed to repeat the mistakes of past relationships. If this isn't about love, apply it to your job. Apply it to your family relationships, your friendships, other connections in your life, other aspects that this might resonate with, in the sense that you know in some way that there's been a negative side to it. You need to accept it, explore it, and adapt and move on from it, to not repeat the mistakes. Because I think that the focus overall of the month is to be happy, to be contented, it's a happy family. I feel that a lot of you ultimately want to be part of that happy family. That there's a desire to be part of a happy family. Maybe you're ready to settle down and get married. but maybe you've had a few rubbish partners, or a few partners that actually they were lovely people, but that you just weren't compatible, or that they wanted, maybe they weren't ready to settle down and have a family just yet, and you are. So there's a misalignment in the path of life where they maybe want to focus on their career and you want to, meet the one, perhaps. Because even if this isn't actually meeting a specific person, maybe you're in the vibe of it's time to move on and try and meet the person that you want to settle down with. And in October, you're really going to have to, spend the month pondering on this. You're going to have your Two of Wands, where you're going to have to explore your options. You're going to have to do your research. The Two of Wands is an option between two wands here, but she's focusing on the crystal ball because it's like the equivalent of the internet. She's doing her searching. She's researching her options. She's looking at what's happened in the past and looking at what's happening out there in the wider world before she decides which wand is the one she's going to pick up and move on with. So you've got to explore things, explore what it means for you to have this Ten of Cups moment, however that represents for you. And then you've got to work at it, basically. And this is just in October. November will bring you a different reading. But there's this sense here that she's mindful of her Three of Pentacles. She's got her foot on it. She's keeping guard over it. She's not going to let somebody come along and swipe them. But she's dutifully sewing, she's making, she's crafting. So I think there's this sense of what are you working towards? What are you working on? What are you focused on? Because I feel that you're in a flux. I think that you're in a transition phase from then to now. That you're in a point where, by Christmas, you could be a lot clearer about how you're going to get this Ten of Cups moment. I think overall, you're not going to have a bad month. I don't think that there's going to be a month of rubbish things happening. I think overall you're going to be quite happy and at the very least really, really enjoying family life. I mean, if you're already settled down and happily married with kids, you're going to have a great month. But this is something to get over. So maybe you've had a fight, maybe there's been a disappointment, but you've got to move past it. You've got to carry on and move past it. See what your other options are, work at them. And then in terms of your family, maybe your partner, offer your love and express your love in your own unique way. You don't have to conform to anybody else's ideas of what perfection is. But it's to love your family, to express your love and to celebrate it and enjoy it and enjoy your family. It doesn't feel like a month of you're just going to be going to work and coming home again. There's something here to be worked out and explored. And I'm really, really drawn to the express your love, that this is about love. There's two cards here that reflect on being in love and happy and wanting love. So I feel that this might be a dominant theme for a lot of you doing number 4s. But if it's not, just adapt it to your particular situation. There's a focus on expressing something within yourself, but you're not sure how to do it, and that's what you need to work on. So those of you that chose option 4, that's your reading. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like any of the cards, I put the links in the description box to the various decks that I use so you can get your own copy. If you do want to book a private reading with me, you can. I've got some slots available. Just again, check the description box, and then when you're clear what you want, send me an email on oaktreetarotreader@gmail.com and I'll get back to you. Otherwise, all the best for October. Please take very good care of yourself. Thank you very much for listening to me, and goodbye.